It is also a big day today because apart from the trains that are beginning to start for the passengers as well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to address the nation tonight at 8 p.m. This will be, remember, his fifth address since the coronavirus lockdown that had been imposed in the month of March. And this address comes just a day after he held a meeting with all the state chief ministers on the current lockdown in the country and updating on the coronavirus crisis. Now, according to sources telling India Today, Prime Minister is concerned about the current migrant crisis in the states, and he may likely speak on some of those issues in the evening tonight, and also on the state government suggestions that have come individually on lockdown measures in the future. In his last address, just to give you a background, on April 14th, Prime Minister Modi had announced a lockdown extension until 3rd May. The nationwide lockdown that has been in place since 25th March to contain the spread of the virus is scheduled for now to end on 17th May. So now let's listen in to what the Prime Minister had said in the last 2 months when he addressed the country during the COVID crisis. Listen in.
सुबह 7 बजे से रात 9 बजे तक सभी देशवासियों को जनता कर्फ्यू का पालन करना है। अभी के हालात को देखते हुए देश में ये लॉकडाउन 21 दिन का होगा, 3 सप्ताह का होगा। चारों तरफ जब हर व्यक्ति एक एक दिया जलाएगा, तब प्रकाश की उस महाशक्ति का एहसास होगा जिसमें एक ही मकसद से हम सब लड़ रहे हैं, ये उजागर होगा। भारत में लॉकडाउन को अब 3 मई तक और बढ़ाना पड़ेगा।
So I've prepared top possible arenas about which the Prime Minister could likely focus on tonight at 8 p.m. this evening. So what is the first? Of course, the first will be the future of lockdown. Will it continue or not after 17th May? Regarding that, number 2, relaxation of curbs. Remember, this is what a lot of people would be expecting, but a lot of people will want to avoid it as well. Connected to that, number 3, economic revival. Could the Prime Minister want to focus on livelihoods, on MSME sectors and more? But connected to that will be number 4, to while revive the economy, while relax the curbs, they will also have to ensure reducing the transmission rate. And for now, even now, a lot of states are reporting high numbers. 5th, taming the COVID clusters, because that remains the biggest test for all state governments. And then 6th, as the union government and state governments had also mentioned, discussed yesterday, that protect rural areas, that the infection should not spread into the rural areas as it stands now in the urban zones. 7th, as we have been watching for the past few days, the woes of migrant laborers, thousands of them walking kilometers on cycles to reach their destinations. And number 8, and very important, concerned with the economy, the industrial revival, and a lot of industries, small and large, will be expecting at least some information announcement from the Prime Minister tonight. So what could possibly be the points that Prime Minister will focus on? National Affairs Editor Rahul Srivastava is now joining me live. Rahul, it is big day. All eyes will be on that address of the Prime Minister. What are you picking up, Rahul? What are possible agendas that Prime Minister would want to focus on?
Pooja, yesterday at the meeting with the chief ministers, what the Prime Ministers eventually landed up was an absolute lack of unanimity over which direction do the chief ministers want to steer the country as far as post 17th of May period is concerned. And that lack of unanimity in terms that some wanted the lockdown to be extended, some wanted it to be withdrawn, some wanted different degree of gradation, some wanted that the state should be empowered with identifying what zones should be demarcated as what, red, orange or green. But I think that lack of unanimity has created a situation in which the Prime Minister needs to know what exactly should be the character of movement from 17th May onward, because the number is spiking. As today we have something over 65,000 cases in the country. Given that scenario, that there is need for opening up in terms of a calculated opening up of various sectors, because economic revival is a must. The Prime Minister talked about the migrants. He said that he wanted people to stay where they were, but migrants, if they want to go back home, nobody can stop them, and that is why strategy were tweaked. Now, Pooja, there are 5 days for this lockdown period to end. Prime Minister usually has spoken at the time of the end or just around when the period was ending. This time he is speaking 5 days earlier. He had asked the chief ministers to submit opinions and suggestions on how economic activity and other activities can be resumed. In that scenario, speaking 5 days ahead definitely gives an indication that perhaps it may not be just looking at the broad contours of a lockdown, but there is a possibility that the Prime Minister may seek greater cooperation from the public in terms of what should be the road ahead. He may talk about, as you talked about, the migrant issue. He may talk about today, for example, is the Nurses' Day. And he may thank nurses all over the country who have done a tremendous job at personal risk in helping out in a pandemic. But the fact is, can the Prime Minister use these opportunities 5 days ahead of the end of the lockdown for 3.0, in which chief ministers are yet to submit their suggestion to go in for public opinion on what next as far as the lockdown is concerned? Will he go for something like crowdsourcing? One will have to wait and see. The 5 days, the address is coming 5 days before the end, raises a kind of an apprehension that the Prime Minister could well use this opportunity to generate a larger national opinion.
That's an interesting point, Rahul, that you've made there, that this address is not coming just a day before or just hours prior to the end of the lockdown. It's coming almost 5 days. So could it be more about the strategy, and could it be also about the healthcare workers? We'll wait and watch. India Today will bring you special telecast from 6 p.m. onward. Stay tuned. Rahul Srivastav with all the details. Thank you very much. Now remember, Prime Minister Modi yesterday asked chief ministers to submit reports on what next do they expect at the 5th virtual meeting with chief ministers. While 5 states, Maharashtra, Punjab, Bengal, Telangana and Assam sought a lockdown extension, Gujarat is seeking an end to the lockdown. On the other hand, Delhi, the national capital's chief minister Arvind Kejriwal, is seeking a resumption for economic activity outside the hotspots. Andhra Pradesh chief minister, meanwhile, pitched for the lockdown relaxation, but with strict adherence to hygiene protocols. So the marathon meeting that went on for 7 hours yesterday evening ended with the onus being given to the state governments to decide what they deem best post 17th May. During this meeting, Prime Minister Modi put forward his Jan Se Jag Tak mantra for fighting COVID-19. He sought state suggestions on reviving economy and called for joint effort to stop the virus spread, especially in rural areas.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.